Talking fishing, nothing but fishing for talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing. Big show coming your way tonight. The first day of autumn. How good is that? I always say autumn's the best fishing season. Adam and Tiffany, welcome along.
Thank you.
Autumn's great.
It is.
I know we had a little bit of a sprinkle of rain today, but
Yep.
autumn, it's good, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
Everything settles a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
Weather settles.
Yeah.
Yep. Now,
Hopefully.
Dave,
Hopefully.
before we move on,
Hang on, I've got to introduce our special guest. I know what you're about to say. Don't hang on. I know, you're going to start on me already. Hold it, Tiff. Special guest in the studio tonight, Katherine Grech is the Director of Better Boating Victoria. Welcome to the program, Katherine.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Big night tonight. We are going to go through, well, you're about to start Victoria's big builder boat ramps.
That's right.
And we're going to go through every one of them, or almost every one of them. It's a massive amount of boat ramps you're about to start rebuilding, and something that Victoria has needed for decades, to be honest.
Yep.
Anyway, back to you, Tiff.
now, would you like to tell us what's happened today, I guess?
My haircut. All I copped before the show was the haircut.
Well,
What?
we're trying to work out if it was a haircut or if you're just going bald.
I'll tell you what happened, right? I go into Rocco's at Lilydale because that's where I go, and I sit down in the chair, right? And he gets his stuff out, and Rocco's pretty, like he knows everyone, and he knows you don't have to tell him what you're getting, and he goes, and he goes, oh, don't tell me you wanted a number 4. I said, yeah, I always have number 4. And he goes, well, I've just done a number 2. I actually reckon he tried to start going back to a number 4.
You should have let him just to see what it looked
Because I
like.
would have had this base.
Yeah, but that would have been even funnier than a number 2 all over.
Oh, well, anyway, so I've got a number 2, all right? It's short. I don't normally do it. But then he goes, have it on me or stuff. I said, I can't do that. So you know what he offered me? A free pen. I got the pen. You won't be able to pick that up, but I got the free pen from. Now it says on here, because you all had a look at the pen too.
Quality
This has got
pen.
nothing to do with fishing. We've got to wind this up. Rocco F. Pompey.
We've been
F.
trying to guess the F.
Fishing.
I reckon it's Frank.
Fabio.
Fabio.
Yep.
I said Felici.
Felici.
Nice.
We want to know if anyone can write into us, what is Rocco's middle name from...
Starting with F.
Oh, Rocco from Lilydale that cuts my hair wrongly. Anyway, let's get to Rocco. If you need a haircut, go and get one from... Now, Katherine, great to have you in, and you've been there 3 years, Better Boating Victoria. This is about to be your biggest year.
Yep.
You're about to do the big build. And there's no hiding that it's going to disrupt things, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is, unfortunately, but we need to do it to get on with the job.
Do you know, Adam, when is the best time to do a level crossing removal? What time of year?
Oh, there's no good time.
Tiff, do you
No.
know when the best time is?
No good time.
Well, that's the same answer for a boat ramp,
Yeah.
right? Because you might say, well, hang on, we've got Easter coming up, right? But after Easter, if say you're going to rebuild Queenscliff, you go, well, the big squid come on in winter,
Yep.
so you can't shut it down after
Yep.
Easter because the big squid come on,
Yep.
and then you might have the barrels out the front, right? But then you can't shut it down in September because that's the start of the
Snapper.
season and the snapper
Yep.
will come on,
Yep.
And then you can't shut it down in October because we're leading to summer. So when is the best time to shut down a boat ramp? There isn't one. And so what we're going to go through tonight is all the boat ramps that are about to be part of the big build, and we're going to tell you when they're going to be shut because we're going to need to warn people there will be disruptions. Your boat ramp might be closed for a little while, but it's short-term pain for long-term gain. So it's anyway, going to go through them all, aren't
Awesome. Yep.
we?
Can't
All
wait.
right, we've folks, it's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
And we've got no idea what catch of the week's going to be tonight because we've got no little cheat sheet. So let's just put the first one up.
Just wing it, Dave. That's how we roll.
When we see the first one, have a look at this.
Ooh,
Grant
pretty.
Maloney. This is now. Old Don sent this in. Old Don, that's a cracking kingfish, and I heard there was a few in Westport.
So that was inside Westport?
One of the boys. Not allowed to mention it.
Big time.
But anyway, what a
Job,
cracking
Grant.
fish. What's the next one? Have a look at that. Levi Tompkin, beautiful gummy shark. Bolton's channel.
Bolton's nice. We're coming into that time of year. The gummies will start to fire up a bit as the water temperature drops a little bit.
Yeah.
Good fish.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the next one. Can you say this, Ads?
Is he related to
I don't know.
Rocco?
That's bad.
Kilcunda, great place.
Yeah.
What's his name though?
Come
Chief?
on, no, who's going to say his name?
Piero
Piero.
Giovanni.
Giovanni.
Easy one.
I reckon. Is that
Easy one.
Catherine?
Yeah, I reckon
You
it has
know.
accent. No, what would I know?
You know. All right, next one. Have a look at that. Oh, here we go. All the tuna. Andrew
Tartaglia.
Tartaglia. I knew you'd know
Know
that.
Andrew quite well.
Yep.
That's a great fish.
There's been some
Barwon heads.
good
Barwon
fish
heads.
off Barwon heads.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, the next one. Oh, Kieran Keating. Beautiful pair of tuna. Down at Ocean Grove. I reckon you could actually drive anywhere between probably Apollo Bay and Wilson's Prom and find southern bluefin tuna. I mean, it's just an amazing amount of fish that are out there, and probably one of the best. Would you say the best season Port Phillip's seen?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
outside of Port
And it
Phillip.
still seems to be building. That's the thing that's kind of psyching me out. You're sort of always expecting the end of it.
Yeah.
It seems to be getting better and better. The numbers of fish coming through in the last week are incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
All right, old mate, because we don't have his name, but have a look at this. This was one of the biggest fish caught on cross-country fishing charters last week.
Yep.
Zach Cross sent this in and just said, have a look how round this little buddy is.
Do we know the size on it or?
It went close to 40 kilos.
Yeah, pretty good.
It's a little round schoolfish that's been eaten too much in the playground, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a class above those fish we've seen previously. Like that's a good bluefin.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, bluefin and nuts everywhere. Let's go inland now and have a look at this Vera Cummings. Maybe the daughter of Cara Cummings,
Yes.
who we've had to cancel the cooking segment tonight, by the way, because we've got too many boat ramps to talk about, so no cooking. But Vera Cummings, daughter of Cara, a lovely Murray cod in the Loddon River. That is a cracking looking
Great job,
fish.
Vera.
It's the best looking fish, Murray cod.
Yeah.
Something about them.
We can actually tell what's coming up on what's coming up on Catch of the Week now. We fixed our little technical difficulties. Lake Tyers continues to deliver, and this is an amazing place. Catherine, you ever been there?
Yeah, heaps of times.
Yeah, it's an amazing place. Brenton Highland, have a look at this 73 centimetre dusky flathead down there. People that know it well will be able to say, oh, yeah, I know that bank. Probably shouldn't give too much away. Further down, Gippsland, have a look at this, a lovely 43 centimetre brim by Nikki Bryant.
brim.
Bem River. Ads, tell us about Bem River. The entrance is now closed.
So the fishing will get better as it starts to fill. And I know Nikki's been down Gippsland for a little bit. I've seen a few bits and pieces she's been putting up on social media, and the fishing there looks red hot at the moment. Flathead, brim, everything.
So the entrance closing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yep, it's a good thing. Bem is an interesting one because it can only get so full before they have to open it.
Yep.
It starts impeding on roads and bits and pieces, car parks coming through, but it has been open for quite a while, longer than it's used to, and the fishing will typically get really, really good quickly as it starts to fill once it's been shut.
Yep. There you go. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me
and have your photo on TV,
email your fishing pics to info@ifish.com.au. Fish on!
I wanna go fishing.
Now, we are going to talk a lot about boat ramps, but coming up next is Fisheries news, and we're going to talk about how much bycatch the Port Phillip Bay commercial longliners will be able to catch. That's next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsling's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Live from the studios of Channel 31 Melbourne, it's now time for some very fishy news.
Two very quick news items I need to discuss before we get into the boat ramps with Katherine Grech, who's been good enough to join us from Better Boating Victoria. The first one, very controversial, it's been in the news. It was on the VR Fish social media, I think last Friday. It was in the Weekly Times last Friday. There's been media releases, letters from the head of Fisheries and all sorts about this. Port Phillip Bay commercial fishing bycatch limits have been announced, and I think that's the headline. The Andrews, so I'm just going to say it how it is, because there's been a lot of misinformation over the last week on this one, and I don't know where that misinformation come from, but it was never going to be, and this is the way it is. The Andrews Labor government is delivering its election commitment to remove commercial fishing nets from Port Phillip Bay by the 1st of April 2022, with 8 snapper longline fishery licences remaining. Now, those longline licences were part of the announcement back in 2014, so don't say they're new, don't say there's something that the government's just invented and going to put back into the bay. That has been from day one, the 2014 announcement to take the nets out of the bay. This sustainable fishery will complement the Corner Inlet fishery in continuing to provide high-value premium seafood to Victoria's restaurants and cafes. The Labor government has invested $27 million to transition the bay from commercial netting, this is Port Phillip Bay, into a recreational fishing haven, with over 600 tonnes of additional fish available to Victorians to reel in. Over the coming days, consultation by the Victorian Fisheries Authority will commence regarding the amount of other species that can be caught alongside the longline snapper. The VFA notice proposes no more than 1 tonne of shark and 2 tonnes of other species. Now, further to that, there has been a letter from the VFA, from Travis Dowling, who's the CEO of the VFA, to recreational anglers, and I'll read this. When longlining for snapper, there will always be some bycatch of shark, flathead and other species. Rather than having these species discarded, the Victorian Fisheries Authority is proposing limited bycatch provisions for each fisher. So there's 8 fishers, they have an 11 tonne quota for snapper. But what you don't want, over here, is if there's a flathead on the hook or a gummy shark on the hook, you don't want that fish thrown back, floating around Port Phillip Bay because it's dead, because they're not allowed to take any bycatch. So, rather than having these species discarded, the VFA is proposing limited bycatch provisions for each fisher. This bycatch will be capped at no more than 1 tonne of shark and 2 tonnes of other species, excluding important recreational fishing species, King George whiting, calamari, kingfish and mulloway. This will prevent the wastage of bycatch, stop any deliberate targeting of non-snapper species and provide capacity for the longline fishers to get bait. The total catch per commercial licence will be 11 tonnes of snapper and 3 tonnes of bycatch. That's 14 tonnes per licence, which is a 112 tonne capped limit on line caught fish. This will see the return of nearly 600 tonne of fish for rec fishers, noting over 700 tonne was being caught annually by netting. So don't believe what's in the Weekly Times, for instance, or don't believe what you're reading on Facebook. That's the facts. They've come out in the last 2 days, and I know we've had a hell of a lot of mail on it. We've had a hell of a lot of comments on our social media about it, but that's the facts. It's 11 tonne of snapper, 3 tonne of bycatch. No more, no less. That will come out officially in the next couple of days. And Catherine, I won't ask you to comment on that, even though you're part of the VFA and Better Boating, but that's the way it is. I just wanted to clear that up. And that was the promise from 2014. So there's no surprises. There's no scare campaigns about other tonnage or anything like that. There's nothing more coming. That's the way it is. All right, second item of news, I just want to quickly mention this. Kicking off this Sunday, the 6th of March, Gem Pier in Williamstown. It's the Vic Fish Kids Clinics, the first one to come back since COVID. 4 events will give young Victorians the chance to reel in a new hobby in a safe and supported environment with help from a range of fishing experts. At Williamstown this weekend, this Sunday, VFA ambassadors Basher Hooley and Lee Rayner will join fisheries officers to share tips, tricks and a few fishing stories of their own with the budding young anglers. If you want to go along, it runs 10 till 4. Parents can register their children's attendance online at vfa.vic.gov.au/VicFishKids. So there you go. That's all the news I want to talk about. Let's get into the boat ramps. Catherine, you've started one already. North Arm down at Lakes Entrance has started. Now that is, for people that don't know it, it's the one where the gantry is for the swordfish.
That's right. As you go over the bridge, it's on your right.
Yep, got some photos here. Let's have a look at the photos. Jeez.
Yep.
Made a mess already.
That's clearly the demolition that's happening at the moment.
Yep.
And that's a photo there of the gantry and the new pontoon that's gone in there.
Okay. Yep.
Yep.
And that's,
that's the gantry.
There's the gantry.
That's the gantry there. Yeah. So pretty much what's going to happen is that gantry is going to be put onto the jetty and the pontoon on the water side. So at the moment, it's too far back. And it's really hard to lift your swordfish and hang it on the gantry.
Lift it out of
from
the
your
boat.
From your boat.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'll be handy for the game clubs and that around as well. So yeah, it'll be really good for all the angling clubs.
Yeah. Okay, and now I went down to Lake Tyes, when was that? Start of February.
Yeah.
Aqua Cup.
Yeah.
And that was already starting to be built, but that's a big project. How long is that going to take?
It'll be done at the end of this month, so definitely before Easter.
Yep.
So they started some of it, stopped over summer, and now they've kicked off again. So not long left to go on that one.
Yeah, okay.
Great job.
Good stuff.
Yep.
All right, that's underway. Bullen Marai is the home of, I say, Chinook salmon.
Salmon. It is that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Always had problems down there
Yeah.
with the boat ramp, haven't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
And is there an angling club or something like that?
Yeah, there's the Camperdown Angling Club,
Yep.
and they've been fantastic to work with. They've been great.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's have a look at the photos down there. That's the existing boat ramp, yeah?
Yeah, that's the existing boat ramp, and you can see the water is receding. The levels keep dropping.
Yeah.
The wind keeps blowing.
It's shocking from there. I've definitely launched from there, and it was hard.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, because of the wind?
The wind, it just comes up. I think it comes from the north. And it's hard work trying to retrieve the boat in.
It is an extinct volcano,
Yeah.
Lake Bullen Marai. And that when you say the wind, so you imagine a volcano has walls, but that wind just seems to come along, go down into the
Funnel in.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
down
just,
there.
it's
You
just a
can't
giant
hide.
puddle.
Yeah, you just
a
can't
really
hide from
deep
it.
puddle.
Yeah. And I think we've got a concept diagram of what it's going to look like. So look at that.
So what are those? What are the little things on the sides of the
groins.
They're groins or an underwater sort of or a retaining wall. So what's happening is because of the wind, it's blowing a lot of the sediment onto the ramp, underneath the ramp, and the wave action is breaking up that ramp. So what we've decided to do is put those groins there to protect, to give the ramp itself a bit of protection from the wave action. And you've got that beautiful central pontoon in there. The new
Rather
ramp.
than the pontoons on the outside.
Yeah, there was only one the pontoons are on the outside, that's right.
So
There
you're
was
going to
two.
have a central one.
pontoon. It'll be a lot easier to handle your boat on both sides. It's going to be a great facility. They started the work today. So
Oh, really?
Yep, it's going to take about 4 months.
Great.
So
Okay, so that's quite a big project.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not a small muck around. That's good.
No.
Needed it.
And
Needed
now,
it.
Is that closed while they're doing that rebuild?
Yeah, that's going to be closed.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're currently trying to find a temporary site nearby so that boaters can still try and use that facility.
Yep.
It might be a bit tricky, but we're still in discussions trying to get a way through.
Isn't there a lot of farms around there?
A lot of farms, yeah, and a lot of it used to be, I guess, land-based access for fishing, but a lot of it's closed now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Purrumbete is probably your next best bet
Closest,
for the next 4 months.
Yep.
If we can't get, we're trying to get access. There's temp access, but if you can't, then Purrumbete, is what 15 k's away.
Yeah.
And
Adam, I mean, we hear about these two lakes all the time, and I love getting down there for Chinook salmon.
Yep.
But, and I always have thought Bull and Merri, it looks more like a volcano than Purrumbete. It hasn't got that. I mean, there's not the weeds and all that sort of stuff, and that like Purrumbete. But Purrumbete's probably the better fishery.
Yeah, just because of size, really, because of size and structure.
Yeah.
I said before, Bull and Merri. I must admit, I've done more fishing at Bull and Merri than I have at Purrumbete,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's a great fishery in its own right, especially with the Chinook salmon there. It's just very unique. It seems to be dead calm every single morning, but by 10 o'clock,
it's whipped up.
it's so open and it just funnels straight down those hills.
Yeah.
It's good.
All right, the next one you're doing, now we've got lots of boat ramps to talk about, but Waranga Basin. Where is Waranga Basin?
It's near Shepparton. It's out in that sort of area. Managed by Goulburn Murray Water. So there's a number of ramps at Waranga.
A couple of photos we can show you too.
Yeah, I've got a couple of photos. That's good. So that's Harriman Point there. That's the one we're going to be duplicating that ramp.
Building two of them?
Two of them. Yeah, it's quite busy. And we're also...
Is that staying or is that going to be brand new?
No, that's going to be replaced.
Yeah, okay.
So we're going to have two new ramps there. We're going to have a brand new car park put in there as well. And there's some great fish habitat works there and some stocking works by us, by the BFA.
Yep.
So Waranga's going to be a fantastic spot to go to over the next few years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so fish habitat, they're going to bolster that big time.
Yep.
Nice, because it is a popular spot. I've never been.
Yeah,
I've never fished
I think it's quite a popular redfin fishery.
It is.
I'm pretty sure.
It is.
Yep.
Yep.
I've got that down. 3 months going to take to do those works.
Yeah, so they're going to start later on this month,
Yeah.
and then that'll be closed for 3 months. But there's a couple of other ramps at Waranga. So
You know why they're closing Waranga at this time? I've got it here. It says here, mid-March, works cannot commence until the water level drops to 50%. The lake is not likely to fall to this level until March 2022.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, so we've got to wait for the water levels to drop.
People say, why can't you do it in April?
Ha!
You can't make everyone... This is the point we're going to make tonight, is that you cannot make everyone happy, and we're going to talk about Queenscliff in a minute. You can't keep everyone happy. You've just got to go... And if you're building a house, like Tiff, if you're building a house, are you going to start a brand new house tomorrow?
No, definitely
Because
not.
you're going to have to wait for the contractors when they're
that's
ready.
it.
Try to design
Trades,
it
contractors.
first. Got to design it.
Yep.
It's complicated, isn't
Yep.
it? So anyway, there you go. Coming up next, product of the week, and we're going to talk about Queenscliff with Katherine Grech from Better Boating. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Product of the week, brought to you by Tackle World.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Now I'm going to fly through product of the week because we've got plenty of boat ramp talk to come, but I want to run you through possibly the most and still the most underrated thing you'll find in the fishing tackle industry, and that is a tumbler bag. Now I'm going to be the first to admit, when I first saw these, I thought there is not a hope in hell anyone's going to be able to sell one of these. Fast forward a few years, and these are possibly one of the most popular thing on the market. And it seems like such a basic thing that is so unbelievably useful. So the story goes, you get your bag of whiting or your bag of calamari, put them in this bag, And what are you towing at about 8 knots, Dave?
Yep.
8 knots behind the... So this sits in the wake of your boat, spins around and knocks all the slime and scales off your whiting. With your calamari, just clip the tip off the end so the water can run through, take the heads out, and it will skin and de-slime all your calamari as well.
Wow.
Perfectly.
It's unbelievable. Now, I've got a couple of questions because my long giraffe legs can't paddle fast enough to get one of these working behind a kayak. So
You don't have a wake kayak.
No.
No.
So, Tiff, I want to know, are these being used in the freshwater yet?
I can say I don't even have one of these. And I've never seen anyone use them in the freshwater either.
I mean, you're hardly going to get caught in that.
Like,
but
really,
a couple
I
of reddies in that would be all right.
I could probably catch some shrimp in that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't reckon. You know, it works on garfish as well.
Okay.
It's not good for every species, Eds, but there's some important features because you know what? I reckon there's half a dozen copies on the market now, and they all bring them back for a refund eventually. Because this one is hand tied in Port Lincoln in South Australia.
Tar dipped, heavy duty mesh netting, like that's coarse to touch. You can see why that works.
It works because it's rough on the fish.
That's right.
And it knocks them round.
That's
and
right.
It knocks them round enough not to bruise them, but to take the scales off the whiting and the slime off the calamari.
So I'm trying to, because these have been on the market for a while.
It's stiff enough, right, that when it's rotating on the edge of your wake, right, so it's called the tumble bag because it tumbles like a tumble dryer. And so it's stiff enough that it doesn't collapse and the fish all get swashed in it. The fish are actually being thrown around as if they're in a tumble dryer. They're hitting that rough surface. If you accidentally take it off your bollard on your boat, that's why there's a big float on there, and you'll never lose your fish because you hear of people towing along the old scaler bag, comes off, rope breaks, lost your fish. That float will keep, even if you've got 10 kilos of fish in there, that float will keep it afloat.
So what's the ideal amount of, say, King George whiting?
You'll easily get 20 King George whiting in there.
Because it doesn't look that big.
I'm telling you, you'll get 20 King George whiting in there.
Calamari?
A dozen. I wouldn't go more than a dozen because if they're too close, all the slime doesn't come off and you end up a bit patchy, so you want to do it again.
Can you just throw the calamari, and that's why I'm asking these questions.
Yeah.
Can you just throw the calamari in there? Do you need to prepare them? Take the heads out, clip the tip off them?
Two things. If you want to do it full inside and out, you clip the top of the hood and you pull the head out. That's all you have to do.
Yep. You can still put the heads in there though?
No, you take them off.
Get rid of them.
Yeah, but I throw mine in whole.
Yep.
Right, and then seriously, it gets all the slime off. You just got to pull the heads off, clean the inside out.
Yeah.
And the hood is perfect on the outside.
Yep.
So, leave the calamari in too long, they will bruise
start chewing
around
up a little bit.
Yeah. So you've got to time it right, and heavy duty gear on that. So you look at the little stainless.
There's a little stainless ring there that keeps the opening closed. So
you throw them in. It's just heavy duty gear, and that's why they're not cheap.
Yeah,
it's heavy duty.
Well, and like I said to you before, being brutally honest, when these first came out, I thought there's not a hope in hell we're going to be able to give one of these things away. Here we are,
like hotcakes,
yep.
and
they really
people that buy the cheap imitations always come back and buy one of those. You'll never scale another whiting. You'll never clean another calamari once you've got one.
I like it. Tumble bag.
There you go.
Get amongst it.
Get them in all your good tackle shops. All right, let's move on to boat ramps because this is an important one. Like we said, you can't just go, what are the very best months for closing Queenscliff? And we've had some mail on Queenscliff because I think would it be the most controversial? Or controversial is probably not the right word, but it's the most contentious one where people go, oh, why are you closing it? And you're closing it for a while.
I think that's right, and also why did you seal the overflow car park? So there's been a fair bit of feedback on that as well, and I can explain why.
And one of the biggest things we've got, social media. I mean, there's even charter guys that are on our social media going, why don't they consult with the anglers? So I sent you an email from a punter today who complained about the lack of consultation, and you've given me. You're not going to be able to pick this up on the camera, I don't think, but I mean, you've given me nearly a page on the dates and times of consultation.
Yeah, including numerous public drop-in events.
Yeah, so how about the people that at home, that are the keyboard warriors, actually attend some of these consultation things? Because, like, you got your own life to live, right? And I don't want to delve into that, but You also spent the weekend up at Shepparton at the Conference,
Yep.
which was a great,
it was great. Yeah.
thing. So it's not like you don't work long hours and long weekends,
Yeah.
but you cannot be there if people want to be at a drop-in centre on a Friday night because
Yeah.
home and away's not on, for instance. You just can't do it for everybody. You can't.
No.
You can't. Well, I was just using
Yeah.
that. As, that's when I'd be free.
Yeah.
But you can't please everyone. But you do a hell of a lot of consultation.
Yeah, we do. My team does. My team certainly does. So we've been out there. We've met with so many people. We've talked about it. Every time we get some feedback, we try and meet with them and engage and talk about why certain things have happened. Even the design process to actually design that ramp. We had a barbecue at that ramp, back 2 years ago.
Yep.
And then, to get feedback on a design, and then we ran that through another process and came back, and the planning permit went through another public process. So there's just been so much consultation on this facility.
So Queenscliff is about to close, and there's no other way to say that. Let's have a look at some of the photos and let's go through this. So this is the reworked car park. You've already done this work.
We've already done that work, yeah. So we closed it for last year. So that was a grassed area that was managed by VicTrack. So it actually wasn't part of the boat ramp. It was,
Hang on, but everyone parked there.
Yeah.
But was that secure? I mean, could VicTrack have gone, we're going to hold Sunday markets on there from now on?
Yeah, or the council might have been able to negotiate to do that, or anything could have happened.
So you've now secured that?
Yeah, with 33 great parks. Yeah.
A lot of criticism about that.
Yeah, that's right.
What was
But
the
imagine the
criticism
criticism,
of that,
hey?
What was the criticism? You just opened up 33 new car
Why
parks.
seal it?
Yeah,
Why-
and I think
Seal it. Okay.
We used to get more cars in there when it was just grass. That could have been taken away for Sunday markets every Sunday had anyone decided to do that.
Yep. So
It's now a car park for a boat ramp.
yeah, we've got
And it's a lot
88.
safer.
We've got 88 parks there at Queenscliff now.
All right, let's keep going through the photos. Oh, now this is the boat ramp.
Yep.
What are you going to do to this?
Oh, this is going to be awesome. So, I don't know if you guys have launched there, but at the moment it's quite narrow. We've got the 2 lanes there. We're going to be knocking that out, and we're going to be putting in 3 lanes. So an extra lane. We're going to be putting in a pontoon, a central sort of pontoon, and pushing those other jetties out and having 2 new pontoons. So there'll be 3 pontoons there.
Nice.
It's a lot of work.
It's a stack of work.
Yeah.
A heap of work. Yeah.
How long is it going to take?
It's going to take, at this stage that we're saying 4 months, the schedule that we've got says 4 months.
Yeah.
So it's closing the 16th of March, so after the long weekend.
Yep.
And
It's going to be closed for Easter.
Yeah.
it's going to be closed for Easter, and I'm really, we just have to do it. We've got to get in there, get the job done, and then get out. So at this stage we're aiming for end of June.
Yep.
It might tip over into July, but we're not planning on that happening. So we're hoping end of June that they're out of there.
Yeah, well, I think the reality is in the history, as you start getting into those cooler months, weather is going to play a factor. And we've gone, so the fact of the matter is we've gone for so many years with boat ramps being fixed up in the winter to stay away from the recreational fishing season. And because of that weather, it pushes into snapper season.
Yep.
So you really are in a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation. And I think this is the right move, Dave, because we're always going to arc up at the start of a season. Yes, we're going to miss Easter, one Easter.
Yep.
We've missed the last how many snapper seasons with the start of snapper seasons with various ramps being done.
Yep.
I think it's a no-brainer. It does suck that Easter's out of the question, but
Short-term pain, long-term gain.
at least we know, barring any ridiculous weather event, it is going to be ready 100% for the start of snapper season.
Yeah, hell yeah.
this season.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Rill. I think we've got some photos here of Rill.
Yep. So
You started.
That was us getting into or working with Bass Coast, but getting into the car park last year.
Yep.
But they've gone back in. That's going to be closed, that facility, for a fair chunk of time. We're talking about maybe 5 months.
Yep.
To replace those 3 ramps. And that jetty, and we're going to have them all tide access, so they're going to push out a lot deeper. We're going to have 2 new jetties on either side of that ramp, with 2 really big pontoons as well, and 2 new fish cleaning tables on each of the jetties on either side.
Whole brand new facility for Rill.
Whole brand new facility at Rills, all tide. So it's going to push out deeper, which is great because we've got 3 metre tidal variation there as well.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Some good work
That's a
going
big one.
on, and as we're saying to people, be prepared. This is about to happen. This is Victoria's big build. You've done like places like Hastings. I mean, I know the Cofferdam Wall. It did collapse, but
in the past.
that ramp is sensational now, and the people want to criticise and say stuff on there. Just don't use them. Seriously, go elsewhere. The big build's about to happen. We're telling you about it. We're giving everyone fair warning. Coming up, Kramer's mailbag. Plenty more to talk about boat ramps, particularly on the Bellarine Peninsula. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Smart aleck on social media that says he's going to do a GoFundMe page to get me a wig.
I'll donate.
Hey?
I'm in.
Rocco should be donating, I can tell you. Rocco of Lilydale, you watch out. All right, this one here is from Keith. Keith goes, "G'day Kramer, I fish at Wyndham Harbour on the rock wall. When the rock wall was built, less than a quarter of it has a path to walk on. The rest of it is fenced off. How can we try to get a path made on the rest of the wall? By doing this, we'll attract a lot more people to go fishing down Werribee. This is my idea, but I just don't know who to talk to and try to make this happen. Also, I am a member of Fishing Mad. Can you get Alan on your show sometime?" Do you know Alan from Fishing
Yeah.
Mad? Tiff?
Yep.
Oh, you do?
I've fished with Alan before.
You have?
Yeah.
All right.
There
Well,
you
we
go.
know one, or we know two people now that know Alan. Let's talk about Alan after the show, Tiff, all right? I don't know, what do we do about getting a wall on Wyndham? Is that a private? That's a private
It's a
marina.
private. It's a private marina. Yeah. So I think that
Good
look,
people down there, they sponsor
Yeah.
3MP
we've
fishing.
actually got a private berth down there. If a couple of private berths that we're trialing, so you can go and rent that.
We might talk to the good people at Wyndham Harbour
Yeah.
for you, Keith, and see
Yeah.
where we get with that one. Next one's from Steve. Steve, I watched you talking recently with Travis Dowling about boat ramps in the freshwater lakes. Melton Reservoir is becoming a popular fishing location in the west, especially since the VFA started stocking with golden perch and Murray cod. The only official boat access currently is a private boat lift at the local speedboat club. Can you please ask the VFA if they're going to make a public boat ramp at the reservoir? The most logical location is somewhere near Clark's Road at the railway bridge. Thanks, and keep up the good work, from Steve. Now, Better Boating Victoria, even though you're the director of it,
Yep.
it sits under the VFA.
Yep, that's right.
So let's ask you from the VFA, what are you
Yep.
doing about Melton Reservoir?
So we're onto it. So so he's right that the only access point is at the speedboat club. It's quite steep. The banks are steep, but I know the area that Steve's talking about. And we've started talking to Melton City Council, who manage the facility, Southern Rural Water, just to see what we can do about planning. We really want access. It's in our boating strategy
Yep.
as future access. So yeah, we're onto it.
I'll just point out that the free pen I got off Rocco is starting to run out of ink already for the compensation for the wrong blade on the hair. It's running out of ink already. All right, this one here, where Frank writes, "Hi David, I live in Indented Head and I'm writing to you in frustration at the lack of response from Better Boating Victoria." Sorry, should have read this before.
No, I know.
I am one of many thousands of boat owners that use the ramps at St Leonard's and Indented Head and have to battle the elements if the winds suddenly spring up from the east, as they do often. They have in the last couple of months. I've sent Better Boating Vic emails asking if they had any plans in the near future of upgrading either St Leonard's or Indented Head boat ramps in a rock wall safe harbour, as there is no safe harbour between Clifton Springs and Queenscliff. I'd appreciate it immensely if you're able to get some sort of reply from Better Boating on my behalf. Well, Frank, we've got Katherine here. Are we talking about... No, we're not talking about Indented Heads.
Well, St Leonard's,
officially.
yeah. But,
oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, but we've just talked about Point Richards, right? And
No, we're
about to talk about Point Richards.
to.
Yeah, so I reckon we'll be able to answer...
Do you want to get into them? Now?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, sorry, if you'd like to write into Kramer's mailbag, this is what you do, quickly.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
All right, so Point Richards, let's have a look at the photos to kick it off. Here we go.
Yep.
So you've done the car park already?
Done the 50 of those, 50 car parks in there for trailers.
When did you do that?
We did that late last year, so that finished. That was opened by Cup Day.
Yep. Oh, we went there.
Yeah, we went there.
You, me and Trav.
Yeah, we had a look at it. Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the next photo.
Yep.
Now, that looks like something we don't have on the Murray.
Seaweed.
A lot of seaweed.
That is a lot of seaweed.
That's insane.
It's insane, yeah.
That's
so
the boat ramp and the jetty.
Well, under the seaweed is the boat ramp.
Where's that?
That's Point Richards, right? So mountain.
Well, that looks like a safe harbour.
Yeah, mountain of seagrass there.
Seahorse.
If you can navigate your way through it.
Yeah. Yeah, what happens is that ramp is regularly shut because of the seagrass impact, right?
Yeah.
So what we have been working on, so we did the car park work last year. We're going back in April to build a big rock
I
groin.
think we've got a sketch of this.
We've got a sketch of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. So we're building this big rock groin there to enclose or semi-enclose, that boat ramp. And what it'll do is, as the seagrass sort of floats in, it'll hit that. It'll basically be bounced back out into
off that new rock wall.
Off the rock wall, and just keep floating out there, so it won't be impacted. So the aim of that was just to make sure that ramp isn't impacted by the seagrass.
Yep.
We need to dredge that little entrance because there'll be looks like a narrow entrance.
Yeah, you will. But the good thing, we've designed that rock wall so that an excavator can track out there and can, with a long reach, can actually dig it out.
Yep.
It'll need the occasional floating dredge.
And is that going to provide a safe harbour that Frank is asking for?
Yeah, it will. So that'll give Frank a bit of protection in at Point Richards once that's built.
Yep.
Yeah, so there will be something between Clifton Springs and Queenscliff, I think Frank was mentioning. Yeah, and we'll talk about St Leonard's in a minute.
I know, let's talk about it now. St Leonard's,
Yeah,
let's have
right.
a quick look at the photos there at St Leonard's. So, car park?
Car park, not a lot of car parks there. So we are about to start consultation. I think it'll be April. We'll be out there publicly talking to people regarding what we can do to improve St Leonard's.
You're going to hold drop-in days?
Yeah, I might even hold a barbecue down at the boat ramp
Really?
with. I might get the angling club to
Could we put that on Facebook for all the people that say that you don't do consultation?
Yeah. Well, that's right. Now that we're out of COVID, we can do that and throw on a barbie, and they can come down and tell us what they think.
St Leonard's, that's the jetty at the boat ramp?
That's the jetty at the end. So we know it cops it in a lot of wind conditions.
What are you going to do about that?
Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to find out whether we put some wave baffles in there, or whether we need to try and put a bit of a protected sort of wall in there. There's a number of things we think we can do at St Leonard's, but let's just see what the boaters tell us as well, and also what we think we can deliver through planning and permits.
Okay.
Approvals. Yeah.
All right, coming up, the all-important hotspots, and we've got a couple more boat ramps to look at next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
The Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron is a trailer boat and social club on Port Phillip Bay. The club has a great range of facilities, including multiple boat ramps, ample car and trailer parking, boat wash and fish cleaning, fishing competitions and boat safety lectures, boating activities and club events, a restaurant and 2 bars. Easy launch and retrieval makes for a relaxing time on the water for you, your family and friends to enjoy. And boating memberships are now available. The Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron, the best trailer boat experience on the bay.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for, Fishing Hotspots, brought to you by the Beaumaris Motor Yacht Squadron, Melbourne's premier trailer boat club.
All right, welcome back to Talking Fishing. Katherine Grech in the studio with us tonight from Better Boating Victoria, going through all the boat ramps. Only got a couple more to go as part of the big build that's going to happen in Victoria. So please, if you've only just joined us, go back and watch a replay of the show if you want, because there is a lot of boat ramps that are about to be closed because the big build to rebuild some of our boat ramps that have been neglected for decades are about to be rebuilt, and it's going to change Victoria. And this is the first big year, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of big years to come.
There's a lot of big years to come. There's a stack of
You got
projects.
$30 million in a better boating fund
Yep.
to spend every year.
That's right.
Some big work about to come. All right, let's kick it off. The hotspots. The first one is St Leonard's, King George Whiting. I am told there is just a truckload of fish over there.
Yep, and we'll hang around for all of winter.
Yeah.
How good's that?
It's good. Tiff, where'd you go? Did you try fishing for whiting on the weekend?
I went for snapper.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went out from
Yes.
Safety Beach.
Safety Beach.
Nice.
Should have
Yeah.
gone to St Leonard's and the whiting. Much better. An unbelievable run of garfish has hit the bay.
Snuck under the radar a little bit.
Absolutely, they were off Portsea on the weekend and they're off Sorrento now. Have a look, get down to Sorrento. Lots of people on the piers, and it's just so good to see them on the piers. A little bit of burley in a burley pot, hanging off the pier, the right height, right on the surface. Silverfish for bait.
Yep.
Garfish everywhere.
Great
down
fun.
there.
Good fun, yeah.
Over in Western Port, Don Newman loves this place. He'll hate me for mentioning Sandy Point, King George Whiting.
Big whiting country.
He tags them there.
That's how big they are.
Another special place, I know, I think this is up Sasha's alley. You'll hate me mentioning it too. Gardener's Channel, King George Whiting everywhere down there as well. Getting some rippers there at the moment.
Yeah, it's
Good 43, 44 centimetre fish.
nice.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, with all the photos of tuna that we didn't have any cheat sheets for, we had no idea what we were talking about at the start of the show. But anyway, the rip, offshore from the rip, southern bluefin tuna everywhere.
Everywhere.
Who would have thought?
Unbelievable.
Amazing.
Do you hear it up the Murray about the tuna fishery that's going
No,
on?
you really don't
Don't
hear
even
anything.
hear that.
No, you don't hear it. Not until you pretty much cross over the West Gate and tuna everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are launching everywhere to go for tuna. It's been amazing. And a little, you're going to hate this, Katherine. This is your little spot. I'll put it up as a hot spot.
It is.
The
It is my spot.
The Delatite River brown trout. You and
Charlie
May.
Yeah.
How many years is it since Charlie was on the show? It must be 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Champion
our
fly
first
fisher.
couple of years she was on the
Catherine,
show.
can I just ask, how many fish would you average when you go fly fishing with Charlie?
Oh.
What, 20, 30?
Average, I reckon. No, I reckon 10. 10.
It's not a bad session.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more than I have when I go
Average,
fishing
yeah.
with you.
Yeah, it's because I take you to all the average spots.
Yeah, I know. Delatite River
I
brown
know you'll
trout.
put them in hotspots, so just
Yeah, I know. There you go.
Thanks for that.
All right, let's continue on with the boat ramps. Boggy Creek is next. Where is Boggy Creek?
Boggy Creek's out near, it's Curdy Vale, so out towards, on the west coast, towards Peterborough.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep, towards Warrnambool sort of way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's have a look at the photos. What's wrong with that?
Can't work out why they call it Boggy Creek.
Yeah.
We were approached by the Curdy Vale Angling Club. They reached out to us and said, can you guys help with this? We keep getting bogged in this car.
So that's why to change the name, Catherine. We have to change the name.
Well, so we went and cracked a deal with Moyne Shire Council, and
and let's
my
have a look
team
at what
did.
you did.
Well, it's still going, right?
Okay.
So that's and it still needs to be sealed and line marked. But how awesome is that?
Not so boggy now.
Yeah.
And that just happened really quickly, in terms of the design and the planning and getting that done. Yeah, so cracking effort
That's
from
not
my
that
team
hard,
and
yeah. That doesn't look bad. Oh, that looks actually like hey, we just got to fix this.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they were really committed, and
Yeah.
kudos to the Curdy Vale Angling Club.
Where is Lake Buffalo?
Oh, that's in the northeast. So
Up Tiff's Way.
yeah, it's in the north.
I haven't been to Lake Buffalo, but I have heard of
Only
it.
place
So
in Australia you haven't been.
Yeah, I'll be taking my new boat.
All right, let's
next
have a look at
Yeah.
Lake Buffalo.
So, Similar issues there to potentially what's happening at Bull and Merri. So you get a lot of wave wash, a lot of wind, a lot of wave action, that's eating away at the ramp. So what we're going to be doing there, I think that's Marshall's Ridge, is we're going to be doing some work on the ramp to protect it, to secure that ramp. And that'll be closed. Marshall's Ridge is going to be closed for a few months while we do those works.
Yep.
And the car park work, of course, as well. So I should have mentioned that. Yep.
Now, we haven't mentioned Hastings. What are you doing at Hastings?
Hastings, we're going to be going back in there, I think next month. Did I say next month?
It says March long weekend.
March long weekend, after the long weekend, to do the dredge, so to give it a good dredge. And then we've got basically a mirror pontoon is the one that's a second pontoon is going to be coming in.
Yep.
And that's going to be awesome for
Morty
Hastings.
Alec?
Morty, we've done the ramp, the jetty, the pontoons, and we're going to be doing the car park. So we're going to be redeveloping.
Yep, that needs doing.
Warrnambool?
Yep. Warrnambool is going to kick off after, same contractor doing Bull and Merri is going to be doing Warrnambool, so they're going to move to Warrnambool after that, and they're going to be replacing the ramp and the jetties there and doing some dredging.
Lots of work about to happen. That's the big build in Victoria. Katherine, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time, and it's hard to explain all this in 1 hour.
Well, it doesn't sound like you've had a day off in the last 3 years by the kind of work going on.
So please, people at home, please be patient with Better Boat in Victoria. Be patient with Katherine. Catherine's trying to do all this work. We didn't even mention the dredging, right? But we can't mention the dredging because we'll run out of time. That's it for Talking Fishing. But the dredging program is big. We'll talk about that. Oh, so the pen just fell apart. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. A little bit of autumn sprinkle for the next few days, but don't let that deter you. Autumn is such a great time for fishing. Until we see you again next week on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.